Yes, before having a look to the solution, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon too, because this way you will be notified whenever a new content is uploaded on my YouTube channel. Now, you people have already seen the question. Yes, so this was the question, and you all have already seen it. You people might have tried to solve it out. If you have still not tried to solve this question yourself, before I start teaching you in this video the solution of this question, you pause this video right here, try this question yourself. You know, some people have an idea that they are so good in the mathematics. They are very good in solving questions of mathematics and something like this. So this is the right choice for you guys. If you are good at mathematics, this is really a good question for you. And if you are feeling that you are not that good at mathematics, this kind of problem will definitely enhance your knowledge, enhance your visualization in mathematics, and specifically geometry related question. So going ahead, be ready with your pen and paper. Now in the given question, there is a right circular cone of height 10 centimeter is given. So this is a right circular cone and height is 10 centimeter, which is cut into two parts by a plane parallel to its base. So that means it's cut like this into two parts. And then two pieces thus formed are individually recast into two right circular cylinders. That means this will make one cylinder and this will make other cylinder. So now I have got now two cylinders. The ratio of the base of radii of the cylinder formed using the smaller cone. That means if I tell this radii is R1 and this radii is R2. So the smaller cone will make one smaller cylinder which has base radii R1, and the frustrum, this is this one, will make another cylinder whose radii will be R2. And then in the question they have given that this ratio of the radii of the smaller cone cylinder to the frustrum cylinder formed is 4 is to 3. That means R1 is to R2 is equals to 4 is to 3. These all things are very, very, very important. Once we are done with this, they say once again ahead that the ratio of the corresponding heights of the cylinder. That means height of this cylinder, let's say H1, and height of this cylinder, let's say H2, H1 is to H2 is equals to 9 is to 234. And this is what is given. Now what we are supposed to find in this question? We are supposed to find in this question that what is the distance of the cutting plane from the base of the cone. That means from here to here, what is the height, or you can say the distance, anything. But we are supposed to find, let's say, to avoid any kind of confusion, let's call it x. Then what is this x? That's what I want to find. So this is entire question, and I'm sure you people are now clear about the question, and now we shall focus on the solution. Now we had a cone, we made a cut like this. From this portion I got one cylinder, and from other portion I got another cylinder. Now I've got R1 is to R2, that is 4 is to 3, and H1 is to H2, that is equals to 9 is to 234. Now what's next? What I'm supposed to do then? Then one thing which I can think over here is the volume of both the cylinders. If I add volume of smaller cylinder into the bigger cylinder, that ultimately gives me the volume of the entire cone. So that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in finding out the volume of the entire cone. Why? Because that is the connecting link. When I can connect two cylinder with cone, I can establish some relationship between the parameters. So first and foremost important thing over here is establishing the relationship through volume, because volume will not change. Now what is the volume of the smaller cylinder? So volume of the smaller cylinder is pi R1 is 4x, let's say 4x square, and H1 is 9. This is the volume of the smaller cylinder. This is 4, basically 4x I'm taking, and this is 9, this is 9y I'm taking. So this way I can write. Now when I talk about the bigger cylinder, so bigger cylinder will be pi r square. R here will be 3x and 3x square, and 234. This is 234y. So 234y. Pi r square h. Basically I am following the formula pi r square h. So using this formula, I found out the volume of the smaller cylinder. Let me call volume of the smaller cylinder V1 and volume of the bigger cylinder, that's V2. V1 is from a smaller piece of a cone and V2 is from first term. So this is V1 by V2 is equals to this by this. And while solving this, I'll definitely get what? See, y deducted. This is basically 4 square 16 x square and 3 square 9 x square. Now x square will be deducted. So ultimately pi is also gone. So I'm left with what? I'm left with 16 by 9 into 9 by 234. 9 by 234. Now two nines I can remove, and by simplifying 16 by 234 I'll get 8 divided by 117. And this is what is the ratio of the volume of the smaller cylinder to the bigger cylinder. Here we have found out one interesting. As we have found out the smaller cylinder, volume of smaller cylinder to the volume of bigger cylinder. And as we remember that the smaller cylinder is made up of the smaller cone present here after putting a cut, and the bigger cylinder is from the first term, that is the lower portion, right? So when I get the volume ratio of both the cylinders, I actually get the ratio of the smaller cone to the first term. That is, I've got the ratio of volume of this to this, which was equals to 8 is to 117. And we can easily now interpret further of any cone is equals to 1/3 pi r square h. This is the volume of any cone, right? Now, when I say this particular case, this is a special case. What is so special about this case? Now understand, over here there was a given cone, this was a cone, and there was a cut made parallel to the base. When this kind of situation is there, then the two cones that we can see in the figure, two cones, one is the original one, this is the original cone that we have, and the second, after the cut, we have the smaller cone as well. This is the smaller cone that we have. In this case, it will be always R1 is to R2 will be equal to H1 is to H2. Now, what is R1 and R2? Now, as we know, R1 is the radius of the smaller cone, wherein R2 is the radius of the bigger, that is the original cone, which is equals to height of the smaller cone to height of the original cone. Now let's say R1 is equals to H1, but then I'm supposed to multiply K along with H1. So this way, say for example, I put the values here. Here, volume of the smaller cone will be pi R1 square H1. This will be my answer. So if I substitute the value of R1 with H, I can write is equals to 1/3 pi H1K square into H1. Right? This is so clear. So I'm basically talking here right now the volume of the smaller cone. So which will be equals to 1/3 pi K H1 cube. So do you understand this much? Now going ahead, this is the volume of the cone, smaller cone. Now going for the same fashion, when I talk about volume of the original cone, in similar fashion it will be 1/3 pi K H2 cube. Now H2 we all know that is 10, which is given inside question. So 1/3 pi K, and this will be 10 cube. Pi K 10 cube. Now when we see this particular thing, right, I can say clearly that volume is directly proportional to H cube. Volume is directly proportional to H cube. Volume is equals to K 10 cube, because H in the original case is 10. So volume of the original cone is equals to 1000 K. Now, when this is 1000 K, and I would write small v, this is volume of the original cone, I'll write V2, right? V2 is the volume of the original cone. Now V1 is the volume of the smaller cone, and using the same understanding, it will be K H1 cube. Now, when we are interested to find the volume of the first term, once again I'll repeat here that V2 is the volume of the original cone, and that is equals to 1000 K, and V1 is the volume of the smaller cone, which is equals to K H1 cube. Now this is what we have understood till now, and now when I want to find out, or when we want to find out the volume of the first term, so things becomes very easy for us. How come we can find the volume of first term? So volume of first term is equals to volume of original cone minus volume of smaller cone. That is equals to 1000 K minus KH1 cube. K is in common, that is 1000 minus H1 cube, and this is what is the volume of first. We know that volume of the first term is equals to K into the bracket 1000 minus H1 cube. So we know this much. We know the volume of original cone, we know the volume of smaller cone, and we know the volume of first drum. Now, what else we knew? We knew the volume of smaller cylinder. Remember smaller cylinder to bigger cylinder. We knew this volume, which was originally the volume of smaller cone to first drum. What was that? That was 8 by 117. So we already know that volume of smaller cone to the volume of first drum. That was 8 by 117. That means V1 by Vf is equals to 8 by 117. V1 is equals to K H1 cube. Putting the values here, K H1 cube, and putting the values for volume of the first drum here, that is equals to K 1000 minus H1 cube. So like solving this question ahead, K is gone, and that clearly means over here it is 117 H1 cube is equals to 8000 minus 8 H1 cube. So this 8 H1 cube will come this side. That means 8, that is 1 2 5 H1 cube is equals to 8000. When I see 8000, I'll do 8 into 1000, and 125 will deduct 1000 with 8 by division, and H1 cube, which is equals to 64. H1 cube will become 64, and because of that, so I've got H1 is equals to 4 centimeter. But this is not our answer. Why? Because H1 is this height, and the question H1 is basically this height, and the question has asked us the height from base. So the answer will be 10 minus 4, 6 centimeter. It always feels great to hear from your end. So if you have liked the video, please like, share, subscribe the channel, and yes, press the bell icon. Do write your views about this video or the explanations that I have given you in this video in YouTube comment box. This will really help me out to understand what you people like and how I can make improvement in whatever I bring to this platform of my YouTube channel. You can also ask your queries at paridhi.vedicmath@gmail.com.